Good afternoon and welcome back. And I feel I will work for the newsroom. It's so exciting. So we continue our day two with another interactive session. Media in multi-hazard early warning systems. And I would like to welcome the facilitator of this session, Indra C. He's an ABU News Director. Welcome, Indra.
Thank you. Thank you, Nargiza. Apologies for the delay, first of all, due to some technical difficulties that our technical team was facing, but we are ready to go. So just looking at it, just talking about early warning systems, and it's quite interesting because earlier on, by the way, this is an interactive session, so we'll get people involved because after lunch, obviously, it becomes a bit difficult to sit here or stand amongst the crowd and listen to people going on and on. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres made a statement, and this was made in 2022, actually on March 23rd. Early warning systems at the World Meteorological Day, he said, all people on Earth must be protected by early warning systems within 5 years. We've got 2 years left to meet that goal. Will we meet it? Well, that's a question that we all ask ourselves. And media plays a very important role to ensure that we are able to protect our people, save lives, but at the same time learn as much as possible from things such as early warning systems. So it's my pleasure, as Nargiza mentioned, I'm Indra Singh, the ABU News Director. It's my pleasure to welcome my panelists. They will have 5 minutes presentation each, following which we will have an interactive session. You can ask them questions and we'll just come to the audience and ask you questions. So be prepared. It could be you being asked to explain something from what you do back in your home countries. So the first person I'd like to invite, let's start with one person who unfortunately couldn't be here from Australia. It is the Assistant Program Specialist at ICC Secretariat out of Australia, Nora Gale. She's online? Yeah. Thank you very much and welcome Nora from Sri Lanka. Secondly, it is my pleasure to invite the Country Director, Bangladesh and Regional Director, Southeast Asia, for a very fantastic organization which is doing a lot of work in different countries, BBC Media Action, Mohammed Al Mamoon. Welcome, Mohammed. The head of programs for the Sri Lankan Red Cross Society, and again, another very well-known figure in the Sri Lankan circles, Ganga Kari Yawasam. Recently in Philippines, we've had so much tragedy in terms of disasters, and it is absolutely, it's a fantastic opportunity for us to listen to someone out of the Philippines, and we have the pleasure of inviting the reporter from ABS-CBN Corporation out of Philippines, Francis Dave Orico. Thank you, Francis, for being here. And last but not the least, the Assistant Director, English and International News at SLRC, Prasad Kushalia. You all have 5 minutes, and that's how much time you have prepared your presentation in. So we'll start with Nora. Nora, I believe you do have some wonderful insights for us in terms of media's role in multi-hazard early warning systems. Can she hear us? No? We'll wait for the technical part to be solved. I'll come to you, Mamoon. Probably you could talk to us a little bit before your presentation comes on. You made a very interesting point. I'd like you to elaborate a little bit on that, what we discussed, if right now you to ask the people in the room.
Hello. I was discussing with Indra that, okay, we are going to talk about the early warning, but here today we are here living in this hotel. I mean, do we know, is there any warning waiting for us? Have you checked it? I don't know. So even myself, I was trying to asked AI, is there any warning for us today? So I got a lot of kind of suggestion and advice from AI that, okay, what could be happen today evening? It could be heavy rain, thunderstorm, and we should be very aware. We should not go to the beach, close to the beach, and there would be, as there be thunderstorm, we should be very careful. So that's the thing. Just I was trying to understand. Okay, this AI is such a thing, and media, we have to accept it. We have to incorporate the AI such a, because it's happening so quickly. And we are working for the people living in the hard-to-reach area. So we have to think how we actually design our media campaign so that it would be benefited for everybody. So just I was trying to...
Absolutely. You talk about a very important aspect, because we seem to be checking a lot of things, but not things that could save lives. So thank you, Mamoon, for that. I believe we've got Nora back online. So Nora, if you can hear us, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I hope that you can hear me now. The Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of UNESCO has been mandated to establish tsunami warning and mitigation systems globally. So I work for the Tsunami Resilience section, focusing on the Indian Ocean region. A lot of our work looks at how the data is used and evaluated for threat to the public. Getting the threat message to the communities at risk goes through a tiered system of information flow, and the media plays a really critical role in this. So it's really important for all organizations involved, including the media, to have timeline-driven standard operating procedures that sync up with the other organizations. And the UNESCO IOC organizes a series of workshops where we have engaged with ABU and national media, looking at how their standard operating procedures slot into the warning chain. And we found when surveying our member states that their media, about a third, have really well-developed standard operating procedures for tsunami, where the other two-thirds need more development. And so we try to encourage these links with the national authorities for tsunami warning in country. And then when we get these key stakeholders together, we look at the details of the standard operating procedures, including what input the media, for example, will receive from whom, through what communication channels, and in what time frame. Because oftentimes with tsunami, there's not a lot of information at first. So it's important that the outputs that are derived reflect the inputs, and it's all very timeline sensitive, and the media does play such a key role. So we work with countries on templates for the radio, television, visual maps for the TV that are predefined text, where the authorities can provide input to the media, who can then broadcast this information as the event evolves. As tsunami don't happen often, we also conduct ocean-wide exercises every 2 years involving the media, and then conduct surveys with the member states on their participation. So we found in the 2023 exercise, the media did play a key role in the exercise. The television participated in most countries. The press, the radio, and also social media contributed. And this was in terms of informing about the exercise, raising pre-exercise tsunami awareness, covering the exercise, including mock interviews, and critically, and probably the most important part, sharing information on the tsunami threat, evacuation, and all clear. And this is just a shot from Tanzania, who had confusion thinking the exercise was a real event, so the media cleared this up in real time during the exercise. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nora. We'll come back later to you. Very interesting, she said, one of the things she mentioned is cut normal programming and go to air with what would save lives. advertisers might start jumping up and down. We'll probably ask people a little bit about that. Mamun, I come to you. You work in one of the most, disaster-prone countries that we know, Bangladesh. What's your take on media's role? And you deal a lot with media, and BBC Media Action does a lot of work. How important or how much of a role does media play in this?
In Bangladesh, definitely media is playing a nice role in actually reaching the people very quickly and at a scale. So right at this moment, for the last kind of 10 to 15 years, it was amazing. Reaching the people through media. This moment actually, as we are actually entering in the digital, the age, so a lot of things have been doing through the digital, the platform at this moment. So right at this moment, people are in a very kind of transition mode from the traditional media to digital media. And that's why a little bit kind of struggling that, okay, how we actually move forward. Because a lot of things, earlier we had to deal with the misperception, this time mis and disinformation as well. So we are aware of these things and we are actually trying to tackle all these things. I should say that, okay, in Bangladesh, two sides. One side is that media by themselves, and the other side is the government and coordination. This is still going very good, and we have a very good advance, but I still feel that they are a little bit away to go and to reach the kind of milestone. And at this moment, we are having a little challenge with the people living in the hard-to-reach area, and we do call it media drug. And sometimes we are really in a challenging situation when some people living in a kind of island or chord area, we do call it, in the island in the big river. So they just have the feature phone. They don't have the TV, television and other stuff. These people are actually right at this moment living in the media drug. We are a little bit struggling, but at the same time we do have a lot of kind of community volunteer. Through them we are trying to reach them. So I should say in Bangladesh, this is a very disaster-prone area. The last 50 years we have done so much, and if we see the kind of the data, the damage and the death rate actually close to kind of zero in Bangladesh right at this moment. So definitely we are doing very good.
Thank you, Mamun. I'll come back to your presentation. I just wanted to hear from you. I'll go across to Ganga. Ganga, you've got a presentation for us, so we'll let you present that. Yeah. So as I mentioned, Ganga is the head of programs at Sri Lanka Red Cross Society, and they deal a lot and work a lot with media and also the people to get the multi-hazard early warning systems. So Ganga, the floor is yours.
The one before. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. So it's Ganga Karyasam from Sri Lanka Red Cross Society. It's a great honor to present about what Sri Lanka Red Cross Society is doing in the country related to disaster management and climate crisis, as well as the perspective from the humanitarian organizations about media and how we can work together with media in multi-hazard early warning systems. So first of all, let me elaborate our mandate as Sri Lanka Red Cross Society working auxiliary to the government but independently. So our core business is disaster management. So we work in all the phases of the disaster management cycle, starting before the disaster, mitigation, preparedness, disaster risk reduction, and since 2023 we are working in anticipatory action to act before the disaster occurs to reduce its impact. So in that one we working for early warning, early action and early financing. So these three pillars, guided by the three pillars, we work for anticipatory action, and as well as the Red Cross is very famous for response when there's a disaster. So Red Cross, not only in Sri Lanka, any country, Red Cross works with the community and the governments. and also in the recovery and rehabilitation phase. So as Red Cross, we have, based on our fundamental principles, we work with the people. In Sri Lanka, we have 25 branches in the all 25 districts, and then from the units and the divisions, we reach the community. So as Red Cross, we have the last mile reach to the communities. And then let's go to the topic that why media matters in multi-hazard early warning systems. So actually, we know that the humanitarian agencies or the Red Cross movement, we can't work without the media support. So media, because the messages, it has a huge reach and it has a speed. So with this, we can reach more people. And also, even though that's reach and speed is there, there should be a trust. So this trust is essential for people to act in warnings. So and also this message should be clear and consistent in messaging. It reduces confusion. And also the translation and simplification of the message. So media should convert the technical hazard information into simple, actionable language message that people can understand. And on the other hand, the media has the most important role in combating with misinformation. So it ensures consistent, verified messaging and to avoid panic of the people with misinformation. And also, on the other hand, it has the community feedback loop. So media is always there with the community, so they can get the feedback very soon, and that is very important role in the multi-hazard early warnings for the people. And in the long run, so beyond emergencies, media shapes the awareness about the preparedness, climate risk, and the early action culture. And then let's see what the way forward. What can strengthening media's role in multi-hazard early warning system? What we want as humanitarian agencies to work in the future with the media. Because first of all, now at the moment, the media's role is just during the disaster, but then, or maybe after the disaster. But we need to co-create the early warning communication protocols. Media, government agencies, private sector, humanitarian agencies, all we should work together before the emergencies. So then we start networking and coordination. Then we can work before, during and after the emergencies and the disasters together to have more fruitful results. And also media, because we Red Cross, we promote anticipatory action. So in that, in promoting anticipatory action, media can play a transformative role in encouraging communities to act early with the early warnings and early actions. So then also the media's role is very important in fundraising for the humanitarian agencies, because with accurate, on time and independent and impartial reporting, we can assure the funding for the country. And also it's investing in multi-platform dissemination is very important, as well as simple understanding languages is very important. This technical wording in alerts is often not easily understood by the common people. And also we should focus on strengthening the journalist capacity, building the capacity of the journalist and the media personnel on climate sciences, disaster risk reduction, as well as the ethical crisis reporting. So this is again a very important thing in the media's role and strengthening media's role in multi-hazard early warning systems. So with that, to conclude, media is not just a channel within early warning systems. It is a critical pillar that connects the science to people and warnings to save lives in early action. So as climate risks are increasing, partnerships between media, humanitarian organizations and governments are very important. And so this is essential to achieve the vision of the cleaner, greener and safer tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Ganga. It's an interactive session, so before I come to, I'm very much looking forward to listening to Francis. Is there any questions so far for the other three who have presented? Anyone? Question? It's an interactive session, so feel free to ask. Sure. Could we have the microphone to probably Nepal first, and then we'll come to the gentleman?
It
Thank
was
you.
a nice presentation. So I just wondering, like, for the anticipatory action, we need robust early warning systems. So in some cases in our country, what we found, we prepare the community, there was anticipatory actions, everything is on place. But when disaster comes, especially in the flood, it hit in another community. So how you ensure about this early warning system is robust, or our anticipatory action will function well?
Mamun or anyone? You want from the Red Cross? Okay, so Ganga.
Yeah, very tricky question because we experience that because, for example, in Sri Lanka also, if we plan anticipatory action for a certain community, but the disaster occurs in somewhere else. So that the thing is that we have to plan for the entire country. So that's why it's not the humanitarian agencies. It's with all the stakeholders should get together in planning for the entire country. But at the moment, we are actually trialing out the system. So how it works, because we have to prepare triggers, and then we have to prepare the lead times, and we have to have good early warning mechanisms. So this still we have some gaps in early warning as well.
Just to add to that, I think from where I come, and I've got one or two people who know, it's easier perhaps for a country with a population less than 1 million than it is for multi-million populated countries with the numbers in multi-millions. And I think she's got a very important point. What if you get it wrong? What if media gets it wrong and then you cop all the flag? But I think you've sort of answered that. Perhaps we'll touch on that in one of the other sessions as well. I think there was another question from the gentleman. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I think since you mentioned in your presentation, especially the anticipatory action, what action that you could take before a disaster happens. Well, as a journalist, what I have witnessed over the past is that we have seen, especially in our part of the world, especially let's say with Sri Lanka, with journalists with lack of environmental literacy. That is a huge issue in getting action. Mainly I have seen the lack of interpretation of scientific data by most of the journalists, because that is also because one thing, mainly because in journalists are assigned for different duties, not only environmental coverage, etc. So the lack of interpreting in scientific data has become a huge issue, even sometimes for the media heads and for the journalists. I think Prasad may correct me if I am wrong. I mean, for a simple exercise, if you get a sample of journalists and ask if you can really interpret the real scientific process of the greenhouse effect, I wonder, out of 100, not even 98 would give a proper answer scientifically. So, on that grounds, how do you expect such journalists to put up a story that could be understandable for the common man? So the creativity becomes a huge erosion, right? So I think we need to think about educating, number one, the media from top to bottom. That is my suggestion.
Thank you very much. I think you've touched on something we've been discussing from yesterday, the scientific data. How do the media understand and how do they get themselves to the party rather than, letting the scientists explain? It's our roles and responsibility. Mamun, you want to add something to that? Because BBC Media Action does some real good work trying to train the journalists in these smaller nations.
It was in the presentation as a learning
So
session.
let's get to your presentation perhaps. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, not a
I don't want to waste time. Straight go to the slide 4. Could you please go to the slide 4? Because we are talking about the media's role in multi-hazard early warning system. So we do know, just sometimes we do feel in the system and that there are 4 pillars, and we always feel that, okay, media means the pillar 3, but I don't feel that, okay, it's only pillar 3. Across all pillar 4, media and communication has a role. So I don't want to waste time on there, but I want to talk more about our works, what we are doing, and how is our actually experience, because BBC Media Action has been working in this sector for a long time. Though personally I am a very student of this sector, but BBC has an extensive experience working in this sector. So just I want to give you some example what we are doing at this moment, and I want to pick some example from Bangladesh and Nepal. At this moment, our BBC Media Action Nepal office is the co-lead for the Pillar 3 in partnership with ITU and supporting National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Authority to develop disaster risk communication strategy in Nepal. We have expertise in producing and disseminating trusted, actionable, and life-saving information through national crises, such as kind of earthquake, cyclone, flash flood, and during the COVID-19. And we are also producing a lot of guideline for planning disaster risk communication in different settings with local and international agencies. In Bangladesh, we have been partner of communication on communities working group for a long time, and when it is been transferred to accountability to affected population, now we are the co-chair in partnership with UNICEF for the National AAP working group. Just I want to tell you a little bit how, slide 5. So how BBC Media Action is actually collaborating with the government agencies, because we are also supporting government agencies to develop and disseminate early warning information through their website, official website, social media, and SMS. And in Nepal, we are working with Department of Meteorology and Hydrology, Bangladesh Meteorological Department, Flood Forecasting and Warning Center. And we are also helping National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Authority in Nepal to prepare and disseminate high alert for anticipatory action. Go to the next slide, please. So we are not also only working with the government agencies, we are also working with the private and public broadcaster. So in Nepal and Bangladesh, in both countries, we are closely working with the national broadcasters to help them to develop their kind of early warning information, develop the quality of the program, because sometimes you feel that when they are actually producing this kind of program, sometimes it is not kind of engaging the people. So people do have some trust with the state broadcaster, but they cannot actually engage their audience. So we are actually trying to help them how they can actually improve the quality of their content. And similarly, we are also working with the journalists, lot of journalists, and help them actually how to better produce their content that is timely, accurate, that will be helpful for the people to make some action actually. So now I am to talk about some of our learning actually. And I want to address the first point you just, mentioned, just very, very interesting. And even that's my question even, and that I want to actually throw here. Just a couple of weeks earlier in Bangladesh, we organized a kind of stakeholder meetings. And in that meeting, literally, these two parties, scientists and the journalists, actually started fighting each other. Because both parties are saying this is not their mandate. Scientists are saying that, okay, this is their mandate is to just to produce the data. Because this is not their mandate to make the data into such a kind of communicable language for the audiences. And journalists are saying, okay, we don't have any kind of authority to change our data. Because I am not that kind of person. I don't have that kind of scientific understanding and scientific degree to do that. I am not kind of entitled to do that. So I am feeling that it is now the big question for all of us, who will be that guardian or who will actually take that responsibility? Because sometimes we, the kind of development partners, as long as we do have money, donor money, we are in the field, we are taking that responsibility, we are getting that scientific data, we are actually transforming to the kind of audience understandable language, messages, and then disseminating. But when I am not there, so who will take that responsibility? So now really this is the big questions, and I feel that it should be kind of big coordination. Some UN or government should take that responsibility and such a kind of integrated way. And sometimes what we are doing, the short-term kind of solution right at this moment. So when we are working with the journalist, so we are trying to connect them. For example, we are working in a province. So in that province, if there is a kind of university, so we are trying to connect. So we are providing the technical support to the journalists, how to do the better news reporting or early warning information. At the same time, when they are actually failing to actually transform this scientific data into the messages, then we are connecting with this kind of local scientist or local university, some kind of technical persons, so that they can go, they can get some kind of things and they can do that. But I don't think there is another way at this moment, but this is really, really big concern for the kind of developing countries. In some countries, this is the kind of integrated system. Any information that should goes to the audience, that should come through the kind of integrated kind of channel. But in some developing country, it is not. Another learning, I should say, one more minute, not a problem. Another things that I want to mention our learning. Now this is the another moment to actually educate people what is warning meanings. Because every time when it's a cyclone time or some other times, when it's a kind of warning, and finally when it's not hitting, the next year they don't care about the warning. So very difficult now. So we feel that in our country particularly, we feel that now we have to also, sensitize people what warning does mean. Warning doesn't mean it will hit. It has a chance, a high chance. So you have to take the precaution. So this sensitizing also important apart from the kind of just the kind of messaging and early warning stuff. And last things, I do have some other things, but I want to just reduce my time. Another things that I feel that we should integrate faith-based or cultural concern with practical solution. Because we know, in South Asia particular, I feel, and in many countries, kind of cultural things and the religious stuffs, very, very kind of, people think that, okay, this is the kind of God punishment. In most of the cases, this is the kind of things. And whatever you are saying, they just don't care about it. So we feel that, okay, we should integrate, we should include the kind of religious leader, or we have to respect their kind of cultural kind of concern. And then we have to make a plan how we can actually give them the kind of the information so that they actually trust. Because, for example, in Bangladesh, 300,000 mosques, that means 600,000 resources are there. So if we can actually utilize these resources, definitely, and people do trust them, so we can reach the people very easily. So yeah, that's the things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mamoon. Very insightful, and I think you touched on something that's very close to Asia and the Pacific in particular, is religion and culture, which can be used much more to help us, safeguard our people. Now, I know he's been waiting for a while, but Francis, once again, welcome. The floor is yours. Philippines, as you know, in recent weeks has been going through a lot. And our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Philippines. So, and of course with Vietnam, which has also been facing a lot of disasters, etc. So, Francis, very excited to hear you.
Okay, can I use this one? Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. It is an honor to share our experience from the Philippines to you guys. So, our country is one of the most hazard-exposed countries in the world, where typhoons, floods, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions often shape not just our geography, but our journalism, our communication systems, and our people. So I hope I won't get too far from the topic that we are discussing today. So let me begin with a story that maybe most of us all know, but one we must continue to learn from. I want to talk about the Super Typhoon Yolanda with an international name, Haiyan. So it was a typhoon back in 2013, and it struck the Philippines. So it remains one of the strongest storms ever recorded on Earth. Communities were flattened, families were separated, more than 6,000 lives were lost, many of them swept away by storm surges they never expected. Survivors said they thought storm surge meant ordinary waves, not a wall of water higher than coconut trees. The tragedy revealed a painful truth. The hazard was detected, the warnings were issued, but people did not understand what the warnings meant. So Yolanda showed the world that an early warning that is not understood is not warning at all, at least in the Philippines. So days before Yolanda, I'm going to show you just a very quick video of the Yolanda back in 2013. So that video is just some of the footages we had when we covered the Yolanda in 2013. So days before Yolanda landfall, PAGASA, the Philippines Weather Bureau, did its job. They tracked the cyclone, they issued regular bulletins, the media amplified those warnings across television, radio, and online. But here's where the communication gap widened. Scientists used technical terms, journalists repeated them faithfully, but the public did not know what those terms meant. Like for instance, the term storm surge, and we have been repeatedly reported this one again and again, but in local dialects, like since the Philippines has a lot of local languages, it does not have a direct or intuitive translation from the word storm surge. So communities imagined strong waves, not the massive tsunami-like flooding that would follow. So this was a powerful reminder to all, I think, communicators that accuracy is not enough, because I mean in the Philippines we have to be more clear about what we are trying to communicate with the public. So after Yolanda, the Philippines experienced a reckoning. PAGASA upgraded its communication system, but the bigger reckoning came for the media, for us. It became clear that our job was not to delay the warning, our job was to explain it. So science reporting suddenly took a new meaning. So in newsrooms, editors started asking, how do we prevent the next Yolanda through communication? The impact of Yolanda. So one concrete example of newsroom reform came from our newsroom in ABS-CBN. Well, for context, ABS-CBN News is one of the largest broadcast media companies in the Philippines. So in 2023, after Typhoon Christine caused unexpected flooding and communication failures, our newsroom developed the breaking news and weather alert system. So this system institutionalized what triggers immediate live streams, when to activate special coverage, how fast advisories should be disseminated, when the newsroom must enter disaster-ready mode. So the goal was simple. Never again should a newsroom be unprepared when a hazard forms. Another change was, I think, strategic for newsrooms in the Philippines, and for ABS-CBN, we hired our own meteorologist. His name is Ariel Rojas, and I think it matters because meteorologists bridge science and the public, so they translate raw data into human impact. So his presence in our newsroom, so that's Ariel Rojas. His presence improved accuracy, speed, consistency, and public comprehension. And I think that's the power of having a meteorologist embedded in the newsroom, because they were able to explain some of the technical jargons in the weather to communicate it effectively to the public. So when a tropical cyclone forms, ABS-CBN's workflow changes instantly. So our newsroom activates, for instance, 24/7 live streams, rolling updates, mobile journalism field reports, citizen journalism submissions, and real-time hazard mapping. So reporters send time-stamped videos showing, especially when they're doing this mobile journalism report. Like for instance, here's the flood level at 10:30 in the morning. They do an actual or a real-time report from where they are. Here is the wind strength in Manila as of 4 p.m. or road closures happening now. So for disaster communication, this is more than I think, journalism. It is situational awareness. It helps families decide when to evacuate, especially if they see the post of the media entities. And it helps local governments respond faster. Okay. So this part, so I just want to put more emphasis on this alert system that we have in our newsroom. So I'm going to talk about the different colors that corresponds to different actions. So I'll start with code white. It means business as usual. So our resident meteorologist delivers regular weather reports on TV and online. Live streams are scheduled at 6 in the morning, 4 p.m. And during TV Patrol, so TV Patrol is our flagship national newscast. And it's the longest running Filipino newscast in the Philippines. And if there's code white, we have code yellow. So code yellow is activated when a weather disturbance enters the Philippine area of responsibility. So the Philippine area of responsibility is our monitoring domain, especially if there's a weather that is about to affect the Philippines. So for the for the code yellow, this is the early awareness stage. Live streams become more frequent, 10 to 12 minutes at 6 in the morning, 11:30 in the morning, and 4:30 p.m., plus our special report for TV Patrol, our newscast. So this stage reflects the philosophy. So don't wait for danger to escalate before communicating. So start early, build awareness slowly but consistently. And then there's the code orange. Code orange is more serious. So this means the State Weather Bureau of the Philippines has raised a tropical cyclone wind signal or heavy rainfall is already affecting communities. So live stream expand to several hours, 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 11:30, 2:30 p.m., 4:30, and up to the evening. So reliever reporters come in because information must be continuous. So at this stage, people start preparing, charging devices, buying food, planning evacuations. Because again, it's the part where the Pag-asa is providing a warning to the Filipinos that a typhoon will hit the country. So communication becomes part of the preparedness process. And then the last one is code red. So it's the highest alert level in our newsroom. So this means strong typhoon or there's a super typhoon, heavy flood warnings, life-threatening conditions. So updates become hourly and coverage becomes marathon style. So that's where the part where we conduct our special coverages. So sometimes lasting 10 to 12 hours straight, and relievers rotate, including myself, to ensure fatigue does not compromise accuracy. So during Code Red, the newsroom becomes an extension of the early warning system, continuously translating science into life-saving information. So ABS...
We've got less than 20 seconds to go for you.
This is the last slide for my presentation. So ABS-CBN also deploys teams to potential impact zones even before landfall. So these teams document real-time conditions, identify evacuation challenges, report hazard escalations, private communities with localized warnings, give national authorities situational updates. So that single report triggered earlier evacuation to save lives. So I mean, what I'm trying to say is that the last time that the Philippines had this strong typhoon, it's Typhoon Tino with an international name, Kalmegi. We provide comprehensive report for that, and we also do a special documentary so we can explain what happened in the Visayas region, because it took hundreds of lives as the eye or the center of this typhoon passed over the lands in the Visayas region.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Francis. We really appreciate that. Really in-depth. I do apologize. I know you can explain a lot more, but perfectly done. Something that I really picked up from yours, and you being a weather person, presenting those things as you mentioned, right?
Yes. But not on a regular basis.
Yeah, no, but you do. Mm-hmm. You know, what you just made me realize is there's a lot of questions being asked of media people. If they are experts, can they present? Can they disseminate the right information? Mm-hmm. We all are trying. And people like you are a prime example of what our public relies on. So continue the great job that you do. And we're really proud of people like you. I bring myself to Vietnam because, you guys have some fantastic ways of disseminating information, of bringing that information up, particularly to our young people who these days are like, yeah, I'm going to believe it, probably I'll look at it, TikTok, and think whatever is produced there, I'll follow, if the cyclone is going to really impact me. Just quickly, probably in under a minute, if you can just have the mic, please. Probably you can use my mic. Just quickly, if you can let us know, how does Vietnam do things, because you are used as an example in many places around Asia in terms of getting the information.
So I agree with everything that Francis had been mentioning. Of course, we are very sympathized with all of the measures that they have constructed, but I want to add on only one thing. It's about social media integrated. So I've mentioned this earlier yesterday in my presentation, but if we want to interact with the younger generation more, we have to use social media. So in order to bring the information to the youngster, we use platforms like Facebook and TikTok and Instagrams and YouTube. And in those platforms, the main thing is that youngsters now are having a very short attention span. So we have to give them information instead of a whole paragraph. We will use bulletin point. Okay, so if there's a storm, for example, a typhoon, it will be 5 bulletin points. The first is the expected date that they will make landfall. The second is the hardest hit or the location of the typhoon. The third is their moving speed of the storm or the typhoon. Fourth is the wind level, and finally is the wave height. So 5 bulletin points only, and they might use even integrated in emojis and stuff like a siren emoji, a warning emoji. So these things are visually captured. Instead of if they're scoring through Facebook, they're scoring to TikTok, and they see a whole paragraph, they will just scroll through it. But if you make it bulletin points, you made it visually impacted, they will see and they will notice it. And one more thing is the frequency. You have to update it regularly, on time, and update it. Yeah, that's one thing I want to add.
Thank you. As I say, Vietnam, I have the privilege of getting stories out of VTV in Vietnam and of course ABS, CBN on Asia Vision. And I tell you, some of the way the information is presented is just so simplified. Now, Prasad, we come to you. We've got about 15 minutes left because we started 2:30. We'll come to you, Prasad, because yesterday you guys spoke about, I think Aru spoke about the young people getting involved. Tell us about SLRC and how do you use this?
Yes, actually. Thank you, Indra. Thank you for providing this opportunity. And first, I would like to commend our two partners. Just now they presented, they did a fantastic coverage on Yolanda. Actually, we used those materials through ABN. So I would like to commend their task as well. When answering your question, Indra, now SLRC is the national television of Sri Lanka. So when we face a disaster in Sri Lanka, when we have a natural disaster, there's a responsibility of the all media, and the all media get active, and they are very active, and they report and they create awareness among the general public. At the same time, they report on various platforms. But for SLRC, the prime task is to safeguard life, because we are the one who get the authority from the government, and the real authority lies with SLRC to disseminate information and create awareness among the public, because it's our duty, not just a media activity, it's our duty. So SLRC is very responsible regarding this matter, because during a disaster, there are a number of factors we have to consider, Indra. First, we have to, carry the message, carry the awareness message to the public. Then we have to, at the same time, we have to take actions not to panic communities while we are advising them. At the same time, we have to make on reports, and we have to very much concerned about the eliminating misinformation and disinformation, providing correct information like Ganga mentioned. So now SLRC is a part of the AWARE platform that mentioned the anticipated platform. So we have a prime role in that, because as the national television, we have to play a key role in that. So as you mentioned, we use our all resources during such an event, especially like Arush mentioned. We have a system within SLRC using our the skill of our journalists and mobilizing all resources, and we have a very good rapport between all the agencies, and we are, we become a total network during such disaster. SLRC and all other media as well, but SLRC has to play a vital role because of being the national television.
Of course. No, definitely, Prasad. And I think Arush's presentation yesterday showed us how you're involving young people. Unfortunately, we're running out of time this afternoon, but I'll quickly come to Nora in probably less than a minute. Nora, what more can for media in terms of, or from media in terms of playing a bigger role perhaps? Working with institutions like UNESCO, which has launched some fantastic training tools, UNTRR, which has launched a fantastic training tool. How much more work is needed from media's side to get up to par in reporting these disasters?
I definitely feel more work is needed from media in terms of integrating the thought process at the Warning Center or Disaster Management Office with what's put on air. For example, if the media can broadcast not only the threat and evacuation, but notify communities of when it's safe to return to homes, that'd be a very good role in saving lives and livelihoods, which requires more communication with other organizations and integrated responses. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nora. Thank you for taking our time to be here. Now, collaboration. We've been hearing about that word from yesterday. Collaborating. We have to work together. Mamoon, BBC Media Action is a great example because you bring everybody together to train them to be better. Your parting words here this afternoon. Your parting words to the media personnel present in terms of bettering themselves, training themselves. Yeah.
So, here, when we are partnering with the media houses and the media practitioners, definitely I say some kind of challenges, but at the same time, when we are actually helping them and mentoring support, providing them, that's actually helping them for a long time. Because just one time providing some capacity doesn't make sense. So mentoring is a good thing. One thing just I want to mention, Indra, that sometimes two things I felt about the media. They're very personal experience. I don't know whatever the situation in other country, but in Bangladesh, sometimes it happens. When any disaster happens, then we can see that, okay, media is covering the stuffs. But after the disaster, kind of after 1 week or 2 weeks, then we cannot see any media is covering that things. So that's, I feel very kind of, okay, that was the kind of the most important things to still cover until the rehabilitation and other stuffs happen. So we feel that, that not only just to help them to how to reporting and how to do the stuffs, but how the full circle. It should be the kind of full circle. Another things, when with the practitioner, we are working with the media. We are the media, at the same time we're the practitioner. You are here all. But sometimes I feel that when we think about the media, they are only sometimes maybe in a lot of our events, we use them as a PR tool. So covering some events and getting some news on the kind of, the newspaper, on the online, something like that. But they are not like, for an example, today a lot of people are here discussing about some policy things and other things. But when in country, we are discussing about something like that, they are not there. Just they are there in the morning to cover that event and then they are vanished. So in the policy discussion, in the policy level, and we are all only including the reporter and the news people, but their senior people, editor, are not involved in this kind of discussion. And until we can do that, all the efforts will not actually effective.
No,
so that's my
definitely.
line.
Thanks.
So in this partnership.
Thank you, Mamoon. I think you make a very interesting point. It has to be, top to bottom, not only getting your juniors to 10. Sorry, Ganga, I know you've got a session straight after this, and I'm going a little bit over time. But quickly, in 30 seconds, Red Cross does fantastic work. How much of a role can you and media and collaborate better in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for Red Cross because we work, as I mentioned earlier, we work in the grassroots level. We have a volunteer network in the entire country. So I think the media actually talk to the people, talk to the communities. So then, that is the main point, that we can work together with the volunteers and also the Red Cross movement, as we have other movement partners also in the country, not only Sri Lanka Red Cross, International Federation and also the International Committee of the Red Cross. So then I think this is the key element that we can work collaboratively is the volunteer network.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Francis, quickly, your message to those people out there that continuously perhaps say media doesn't understand what they're presenting in terms of weather. I'm asking you this because you are, even though probably sometimes not on a full-time basis, present weather. Quickly, in 20 seconds.
Well, I think they have to trust the media. And, well, for our part as media practitioners, we always try our best to explain those technical terms into the best terms that they could be able to understand it. Because science can communicate the situation, the government can issue advisories, but the complete process ends with the media's role on how they will try to explain this hard information to the public in order for them to understand it and to save lives, prepare for evacuation. So I think that trust should also start with the people and to trust the media.
Okay, perfect. Prasad, sorry, I've got 15 seconds for you. Your message from your expertise to the young media people in Sri Lanka.
Yes, actually, we have to, as we mentioned throughout this forum, we have to build up new bridges between the expert and the scientific community and journalists, and we have to join together and carry our message for the betterment of the Sri Lankans, betterment of the country. That's my message.
Thank you very much, Prasad. I think all of them deserve a round of applause. We could speak for another 2 hours, etc. Thank you very much, all of you. And I think a key takeaway from this, listening to all the 5 speakers plus those from the floor, is yes, we may not know all the scientific terms and being able to etc. But we need to make an effort. We are making an effort, collaboration, so we can save lives. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much, Indra. Thank you, panelists and the contributors to this interactive session. After the photo, we will continue, and the next one is also very important discussions, because we have been talking about the media's role in the crisis and the emergency, and we all believe that we all agree that the radio is very important during the crisis and emergency times. So next session is strengthening media's role in early warnings, focus on radio. And we will explore how vital role of radio in reaching communities during the crisis and emergencies. And I would like to invite back to the stage Ms. Ganga Karyavasam. She's the head of programs at the Sri Lanka Red Cross Society.
Good afternoon again. It's Ganga Karyavasam from Sri Lanka Red Cross Society. This session is about the radio. So focus is on radio, strengthening the media's role in early warning and emergency communication. To summarize the session, to start with, that we know that the radio is like it has a big reach and a huge reach, and it remains one of the most trusted and far-reaching communication channels during the crisis. And this session will explore how broadcasters, especially radio, can enhance their role in early warning dissemination and emergency response to save lives and reduce disaster impacts. The collaboration and models between media, meteorological agencies, and disaster management authorities can ensure warnings are reliable, timely, and clearly understood by all audiences. So today in this session, we are delighted to have a diverse panel of speakers contributing their insights and experiences. We have 5 panelists today. So let me welcome our first panelist, Mr. Tofasal Hossain. He is the National Coordinator for Pillar 3 of Early Warning for All initiative in Bangladesh. He is representing the International Telecommunication Union. And then we have Mr. Matthew Phillips. He is the Steering Board Member, Digital Radio Mondale. And we have Ms. Rita Nojum. She is the Program Manager from Radio Liban, and she is also a professor at Beirut Arab University. Please welcome Ms. Rita Nojum. And then we have a journalist, a young journalist. She is Nguyen Q An, and she is a reporter for Voice of Vietnam online newspapers. And finally, we have Mr. Dulat Pane. He is a broadcast journalist and a media leader. At the moment, he works for the Radio Republic Indonesia as the head of news team. Please welcome Mr. Pane. Start with our discussion today. This is about this media's role in early warning and emergency communication. So we have with these 5 panelists, we will have a good discussion today on the radio's role in this early warning and in the disaster response and the preparedness. So first, I would like to invite Mr. Tofel to do his presentation. He will talk briefly about the Early Warning for All initiative and the role of Pillar 3 from the perspective from the International Telecommunication Union.
Thank you very much. So time is very short, so I have few slides, but I will go very quick because some of the information already discussed in my previous session. So I am representing ITU. ITU is the Pillar 3 pillar lead in the early warning for all systems. So just a quick, you already know that ITU has this like 194 members worldwide, and they are contributing a lot as a Pillar 3 lead in globally. Then what is actually early warning for all? So in my previous session, it is already discussed that UN Secretary General declared that every people in the earth should be should get early warning for any type of disaster. So this is the main motto of this early warning for all system. And apart from the life savings, actually early warning for all has a very, very good business case. So just we have some studies done by World Bank, WFP, and also Global Commission on Adaptation. So actually what happens, this interesting figure that for every year actually we could save $38 billion if we actually use early warning for all properly. And this is the reduction of loss. So this is a huge thing. So even like if we invest $1, it return is $3. This is another analysis is. And if we actually provide the early warning like 24 hours back, the reduction loss reduced 30%. So this is another important thing. And all these things, this now the topic of the session like media's role and strengthening the early warning system. So now I am going to there. So actually for the very brief, this early warning system has 4 pillars. I2 is representing pillar 3, but pillar 1 is the mainly disaster risk knowledge. It is led by UNDRR. Pillar 2 is actually detection and forecasting, led by WMO. Pillar 3 is ITU, and Pillar 4 preparedness and response. So I am focusing on mainly Pillar 3 now. One study says that actually one of the main challenge, it is done by IFRC, one of the main challenge of early warning system implementation is the Pillar 3, that means dissemination and communication. So message or warning is not properly disseminated to the last mile. Rather we can say now last meter. So here media can play a vital role to dissemination and communication part. So I2 has the mandate to ensure this early warning for all. So I am going very quick. Just as I mentioned here that media has very good role for early warning for all. Like for this message communication and dissemination, this multi-channel approach is the main thing. And we need to use all these channels starting from the mobile, social media, radio, television and all these things so that everyone in the earth gets the early warning. So just I am going very quick, like this is the CAP, it is called Common Alert Protocol. This is the standard communication. Nowadays in the social media also you can find this early warning message is different in different media, different channels. So this is a common thing that everybody should follow, like the answering the 5 questions in the message, that what, where, how soon, how bad and what to do. So in the message, early warning message, we should include all these 5 information so that people know where it is happening and what they should do in this disaster scenario. And nowadays actually the mobile penetration is very high in all over the world. So there is a feature in the mobile communication, this is called cell broadcast. This interesting thing is that for this cell broadcast you don't need to have a even SIM card or the connection also. So any roamers, visitors, if they have the phone device, they can get this alert. It is already implemented in a lot of countries. So in our country we are also doing this analysis in Bangladesh and hopefully we will implement it very soon. This is, I can skip this one. This is the main thing in Bangladesh. We have already done this early warning for all roadmap and it will be actually announced this end of this month. Now the media's role. Actually media's role is not only the dissemination part like the passing the message, but they can educate the people, they can amplify the voice of the vulnerable people, they can actually strengthen the collaboration among all the stakeholders. So like as I mentioned here, this the radio is playing a vital role in this one of the channel. This is very easy and this is very actually everybody can afford it and it is easy to carry. So we can highlight on this radio. What in Bangladesh, this is one of the scenario in the Germany, like when every network was down, only radio was alive. In Bangladesh also we have similar thing. We have the amateur radio, we have the FM radio, we have the national radio. So this is very easy and we can cover most of the people using these things. And FM radio is very much popular now in the car and also we have the app, we have the website. So everybody can get this message if we properly use this channel. I have, I think, another slide just from I2 and there is 10 channels of frequency that is dedicated for disaster. So this part can be done like every country that there is some frequency for the radio communication. It is dedicated for disaster part, so it can be used in the emergency period. So this is the last slide, the digital terrestrial television. This is also getting very popular. And I think if we engage all stakeholders, including all the media, we can fulfill the dream of the UN Secretary General. That's all from my side. Thank you all.
Right. Thank you very much. So then the practice in Bangladesh related to radio is very impressive actually. We got good insights from your presentation. Thank you very much. And then we have Mr. Matthew Phillips. He's from the steering board member, Digital Radio Mondale from, So we could like to learn from you how the disaster management systems ensure the effective and trusted communication when normal infrastructure fails.
Okay, and good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to join you. So I'll talk from a slightly different perspective maybe than some other speakers because I'm essentially an engineer, so I'm going to talk about some practical things that I think are necessary to successfully communicate during a disaster situation, and the facilities that the digital radio broadcast method. All right. Hello. Oh, okay. And the facilities that the digital radio broadcasting method, known as Digital Radio Mondiale, can deliver over and above traditional analog AM and FM broadcasting, and distinct from also using mobile phone networks. I think mobile phones obviously provide you with the richest form of communication. It can be two-way, but it's also, you can have Facebook and social media and all of those things, but mobile phone networks are also vulnerable during a disaster. Radio towers can get knocked over in high winds or swept away in rains and destroyed in earthquakes. So actually we need to think about how broadcast radio can provide a second level of connectivity to our populations to make sure they get good, clear information. And a lot of the discussion today has been about the nature of that information, but it's no good having great messages if you can't deliver it to the hands of the people who need them. So within DRM, one of the things I would say is that DRM gives you the features of a digital communication system, but over a long distance. So it means that your transmission infrastructure for an emergency can be located in somewhere that isn't in the emergency region. So if your transmitter towers have been knocked over in the particular region by wind or earthquake or whatever it is, you can, using DRM, you can actually be transmitting from outside that region, 100 kilometers away, which means that communication can still continue. So that's one of the features which I think is important. DRM works on all the traditional broadcast bands, so it doesn't mean you have to change things, and people obviously can listen to the digital radio most of the time. The other feature which I think is important is that handling of emergencies is built into the data protocol. So there are specific messages within the data stream which say when an emergency is in progress. This means this, for example, this little radio here, which it will soon be mass-produced in India, this can actually be sitting, it can be used by the user to listen to the radio, maybe the cricket or whatever they want to listen to. But when it's in sleep mode, it can still be listening for emergency. And so actually on one set of batteries, even if you don't touch it, it'll listen for 3 months, waking up without the user knowing every 30 seconds, and then when an emergency occurs, automatically switching on, turning the volume up, playing the announcement, switching to the channel that has the announcement, and then enabling people to know there is an emergency. And then at the same time, if you fit that with some short distance wireless connectivity, which is another one of my favorite subjects, that same information can then appear on their smartphone. So even if all the mobile phone towers in the region have been knocked over and don't work, they can still use their familiar device to read what is it that's going on. Now, someone mentioned that young people want to see things on Facebook and so on but if the internet's gone, the Facebook doesn't work. I was listening to a radio broadcast after the recent floods, or the floods this summer in Texas, and even in the United States, a first world, very rich country, if you listen to the people on the ground, they said, oh, the internet didn't work, the Wi-Fi didn't work, it took a few days for that to come on, we didn't really know what to do. Well, if you've got radio as a backup, you can make sure that circumstance doesn't occur. Quite frankly, I could go on for a very long time about all the benefits of DRM and all the ways that it can be used in emergencies. Just really to say it's a digital broadcast method. It's already rolled out in India, is rolling out now in China, Indonesia and Pakistan in this region. I think it's very likely to become the dominant method of radio digital broadcasting in Asia, and it has this facility to manage disasters and emergencies built into it from day one, and I think it's worth other countries looking at, because these types of equipment do not have to be expensive. This should definitely cost, less than $50, and in volume could cost quite a lot less than that, which means that every citizen can essentially have something that will help protect them when they need that protection. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Very impressive. So actually, even though we have new technologies, new equipment, so we can still see that old is gold. And so considering the issues such as disrupted mobile networks, the information and all these things, so importance of using simple, low cost and trusted media like radio is very essential. So we can, actually there is evidence in, for example, this year Los Angeles fire, Texas floods, even though they have technology and money, but then still all the things failed at that time. Yeah, so thank you very much. So with that, let's move to the next panelist. It's Ms. Rita Nojo. She's the program manager for Radio Liban. So she will present about the Radio Liban's role in spreading awareness, especially in collaboration with official authorities. Over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to speak to you today about Radio Lebanon, one of the oldest and most distinguished broadcasting institutions in the Arab world, 90 years of continuous service. Since the establishment of Lebanon, Radio Lebanon has stood alongside the nation through all its moments of joy, of peace, and its years of war. And over time, the radio became a lifeline for the Lebanese people. Its announcers guide citizens through safe routes. This trust placed in these voices was so profound that many families named their children, their newborn children, after the announcer's name, who helped them navigate safely in the country. Today, despite the existence of hundreds of radios today in Lebanon, Radio Lebanon remained the pillar of credibility thanks to its neutrality, its collaboration with official institutions. We offer essential public service, informing, educating. It's not moving? It's not moving? Okay. I forgot about this. So we offer essential public service, informing, educating, entertaining, and raising awareness. This station plays a significant role in road safety awareness, as traffic accidents have reached very high levels in Lebanon. Our programs regularly host experts in the field who highlight crucial safety practices such as avoiding alcohol while driving, using safety belt, refraining from mobile phone use on road, and other tips. According to official data provided by the internal security forces, 387 people have lost their lives in traffic accidents in 2025. So far, most of them are from the youth generation. Only in August, we have lost 60 persons. It's a shocking number. We play a major role in shaping road safety culture among the youth, especially through the program Amahlak Su, Drive Carefully, produced in collaboration with the internal security forces. Please, play the other one. Okay. As we approach the winter season, when road accidents typically increase due to heavy rain and poor visibility, Radio Lebanon strengthens its awareness campaign. We maintain continuous communication with the Meteo Department at Rafiq Hariri International Airport to provide listeners with updates on weather condition, rainfall, and potential flooding information that helps prevent further tragedy in our roads.
برنامج جديد طبيب أونلاين. طبيب أونلاين برنامج بيستقبل طبيب متخصص بالاستوديو بيجاوب على أسئلة كل المستمعين اللي بتتعلق بالصحة. معكم إكرام صعب.
In the last 20 years, Lebanon recorded an alarming 162% increase in new cancer cases. The most common type are breast cancer, lung cancer, and prostate cancer, with pollution and tobacco use identified as the primary contributing factors. In response to this growing public health, Radio Lebanon works in daily coordination with the Ministry of Public Health. One of our key initiatives is the program Doctor Online, which enjoys a high level of public engagement, and the program hosts doctors live direct from the studio, answering to listeners' health questions related to their health. And daily we stand alongside with the Ministry of Public Health and partners in the national cancer in the campaign for the national cancer awareness with the Ministry of Health. Lebanon, a land of abundant water. Unfortunately, not anymore. According to the latest reports by the ESCWA, Lebanon has lost more than 20% of its renewable water resources over the past decade due to climate change. Lebanon has witnessed a more than 60% increase in wildfires in recent years, according to the Ministry of Environment. And when forests burn, we lose more than trees. We lose the lungs that purify our air. A program called Listen Up, This is Nature is a daily program. On the official, we give official information delivered by the Ministry of Environment. So it's a 2-minute segment delivering environmental content. A brief study indicates that the number of documented spring and water sources in Lebanon exceed 4,000 springs in the country. These studies reveal a significant decline in spring waters volume in recent years. It's alarming. Naturally, the dryness affecting these springs is also contributing to the spread of wildfires. Beautiful forest area have burned, unfortunately, and just days ago, Lebanon have lost a surface of green land, including the Kassin forest. It is the hugest place of pine in the east. The radio station is also advocating for reforestation with the cooperation of Lebanese Army and the Ministry of Agriculture. So our radio also is committed to showcasing Lebanon's beauty. We produce programs that highlight the charm of Beirut, because when we truly recognize the value of what we have, we protect it even more. So we have to highlight what we have, like beautiful heritage in our country, to conserve it more and more. And we constantly promote the beautiful image of Lebanon through its wonderful sites, so we can preserve them even more and keep our country the pearl of the Middle East. This is a message from me, from the radio, and also a message from the director of the radio, inviting you all to come to visit Lebanon, because it's a really beautiful country, and we'd love to see you in our country soon. Hope so. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rita Najam. So it's very impressive that how Radio Lebanon is working for disaster preparedness and the prevention through partnerships with authorities and experts, how they contribute to public awareness and then saving lives. Very impressive. Thank you. And then let's move to Ms. Anne. She will, she's from the Voice of Vietnam. She works as a reporter for online newspapers. So how can the radio journalism can save lives during a disaster? Please explain us.
Thank you for this. Thank you for your question. It's a great honor for me to join this discussion today. In a world where natural disasters are becoming more frequent due to climate change, radio remains one of the most trusted and accessible platforms. This is especially true in remote, mountainous, or island areas where mobile network and the internet may be interrupted. So journalists serve as a bridge between meteorological agencies, disaster management authorities, and the public. Our job is not just to report quickly, but to transfer complex forecasts into clear and simple instructions that local communities can understand and act on immediately. In Vietnam, early warnings play an especially critical role in because the country is highly vulnerable to natural disaster. With a long coastline and a geographic position exposed to strong storms, radio remains one of the most important and reliable channels for delivering timely alerts. For example, in 2025, Vietnam faced 3 major typhoons in a short period. Although these storms caused significant damage to infrastructure and livelihoods, the loss of life remained low thanks to effective forecasting, strong public communication, and timely early warnings. In many remote and isolated areas, radio broadcasts are the only source of information because electricity and the internet were disrupted. During these storms, VOV's communication system activated immediately. Multiple platforms work together to deliver hourly updates on the storm movements, expected impacts, and practical safety guidance. This ensures that people can receive clear instructions on how to prepare, where to evacuate, and how to stay safe. During typhoons like Boloi, Matmore, or Camusis, VOV's reporter was sent to affected areas to provide real-time updates and share urgent instructions from authorities. Instead of just reporting the wind speeds or the rainfall levels, we explain what they meant for fishermen at seas, families near rivers, and households in flood-prone areas. Delivering this information clearly, calmly, and carefully is so crucial because unverified rumors can cause panic and confusion. Being a radio journalist in emergencies is not about speed. It's about filtering and verifying information quickly, transfer technical focus into clear and actionable advice, and communicating in a way that is caring and empathetic. We have to coordinate closely with local authorities, rescue teams, and meteorological agencies to confirm facts and avoid spreading rumors. We also need to be ready to go into the field, sometimes to dangerous areas, to report what's really happening. Besides radio broadcast, publishing digital content is an effective way to reach the public. At VOV online newspaper, we turn complex data into infographics, maps, and visual guides. For example, we convert rainfall data and flood forecast into easy-to-read maps showing which areas should be evacuated first. This type audience understand the situation quickly and take appropriate actions. Combining the speed of radio and the visual tool online can make early warnings more effective and accessible. In conclusion, I think we can, by improving our skills and communicate clearly and carefully, we can turn early warnings into early action. When that happens, the media, especially radio, can truly make a difference, saving lives, protecting local communities, and building a resilient future for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's very informative and very, thank you. So let's do our last panelist. He's Mr. Dulan. So he will explain us how the Radio Republic Indonesia, how they work in providing emergency response information. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanga. Okay, my friends, Radio Republic Indonesia is a disaster response radio. Why? Because we in Indonesia has all those kinds of natural disasters, from volcano to earthquake, flash flood, landslide, maybe except typhoon, not as massive maybe that we the one our friends from Philippines has. So that's why Radio Republic Indonesia is declared as a response radio. So we have to respond to have. We have a responsibility to the public, to the Indonesian people, to not only deliver information and also do something to save lives. So I think from now on, it is not time for us to provide data on how many lives becomes the victims of the natural disaster. But from now on, from today, we have to provide data. How many lives we can save because of our responsibility to deliver the information, to do actions, yeah, as a response radio. Okay, let's bring our memories to 2004, the tsunami in Aceh and any parts of the world, including Sri Lanka. There were more than 200,000 lives. There were more than 200 people lost their lives. And then, in Yogyakarta, earthquake in 2008, and also in Palu in 2018, thousands of people lost their lives. So, radio response, disaster response. It is not the RR declared itself as a radio response, a disaster response, but it is mandated by the law. Law number 24/2007 on disaster management. This is a call for the use of public communication channels, mitigation, and early warning. I will make this quick because all the presentations are already in the UNESCO Model Disaster Preparedness and Response. So if you have already read that model disaster, the UNESCO, so you can understand easily this presentation. So functions in disaster response. RI acts as a multi-phase communication bridge before, during, and after disasters. In disaster or mitigation, we have public education. We do public education, awareness campaign, community drills, and also training. So, for example, Kentongan broadcast educating about earthquake and flood safety. It is launched in 2019. And during disaster emergency response, we provide real-time updates, emergency instructions, and also evacuation routes. Maintains broadcasts even when the power or internet fail. The example is at RRI Palu in 2018, earthquake kept broadcasting via portable transmitter. So when the means of communication down, but our radio in Palu still working. And post-disaster recovery, research rehabilitation information helps coordinate aid and provides psychological support content. The example is in RRI or RRI Lombok after the 2018 earthquake, air counseling and reconstruction updates. So this is Kentongan, our flagship program, launched in 2019, as I mentioned before. So this launching, we work together with the National Disaster Mitigation Management Agency and also Meteorology, Climatology and Geophysical Agency and local disaster management agency. And we carried out on multiple RRI stations nationwide, especially in Padang, Palu, Denpasar, Ternate, and also in Samarinda. I hope you are familiar with these cities. Partnerships and coordination, yeah. So we have a partnership and coordination with the National Disaster Management Agency for policy and coordination for national disaster communication. And also with the Meteorology, Climatology, and Geophysical Agency for early warning, for weather, earthquake, and tsunami and information. Do you remember when the issue of the mega trust, few months ago, last year, or mega trust, so all the people in Indonesia were panicked. So we just called the meteorology agency. Is it true that there will be a mega trust in a very short time because people out there were very panicked about this information. And the answer comes, no mega trust in a very short time. So this is just an issue. And we also work with the local disaster management agencies or for localized content and response coordination, especially with the Ministry of Communication and Digital Affairs, because they, responsible for the frequency management and emergency communication policies. Program structure includes dialogue, Kentongan expert talk show. So we bring experts in the talk show to explain about disaster, natural disaster, and also field report. During the disaster, we have our reporter out there on the field to report what is happening there. But we also have citizen journalism. And then we have disaster simulation, and then also preparedness bulletin. Emergency broadcasting system. RRI has a backup transmitter and mobile broadcast units, OBPANs, if it is popular for you, who are working in the radio, used as radio in emergency response. We also have, in cooperation with the DRM Digital Radio Mondial, and RRI began testing emergency warning functionality EWF and an automatic disaster alert system integrated into digital radio and the pilot projects in Bandung, Surabaya, and Palangkaraya. Maybe that's such kinds of radio our friends already presented before. So this radio is very, helpful. When the telecommunications system down, you still can listen what is happening through that radio. And as Mr. Tupatu from Bangladesh, yes, says that there is a VF frequency from the ITU, but that is not only VF frequency. We have very high frequency. Not only high frequency, but there are two very high frequency which does not need stations. It is automatically sends you the warnings. So when the alert from National I've splendid. Next. RRE or RI in action, disaster, earthquake and tsunami, Lombok and also floods, and Mount Merapi eruption in Yogyakarta, which takes thousands of lives. Next, public education and training. So we routinely conduct joint exercise with local disaster management agencies, and this simulate disaster broadcasts, helping the community understand evacuation protocols. So many area stations we have, just for information, we have 105 stations, 105 RRI stations throughout the country, with about 500 plus reporters. 500 plus reporters. So, many RRI stations also maintain volunteers networks, what we call Sahabat Kentongan, Friends of Kentongan, our flagship program. Citizen correspondent who reported disaster situation. So, this is the simulation. So, like the previous presentation, I remember one of our panelists says that media is not delivering about what is happening, but media should take part in organizing like simulation like this. We have simulation like this. We involve the National Disaster Management Agency for the simulation in schools, in offices, including in our office, of course. That's it.
Mr. Pane, sorry to disturb you. You have only 1 minute.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, let me take. Okay, they are. If you can see the picture, so this is communities, what we call Friends of Kentongan. So they are citizen journalists. So we teach people in villages, in remote areas, to be able to make reporting while there is a natural disaster. Okay, we would do real action. I mean, RI do real action. We just not deliver information and encourage people to do this, to do that, and to do something. But we, the RI, do real actions like planting trees, collecting garbage, planting trees in every 11 September, because that's our National Radio Day, 11 September. So all those 105 stations throughout Indonesia plant trees. So there will be thousands or 10,000 of trees will be planted during our Radio Day, September 11. And we also have Friday cleaning. So we collect garbage every Friday. Recognition. National Disaster Management Agency has formally recognized RI as a national messenger for disaster mitigation. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, that it is not we, the RI, who is mentioned, who stated that we are a radio disaster response. Okay, in 2023, RI received an award for disaster communication innovation through the Kentongan program. And the last one, the model is now being studied as a template for ASEAN SAM, ASEAN Disaster Communication System. Okay, before closing, I just want to take the quote from United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres during the 75th World Meteorological Organization meeting in October last month. He said, global warming is pushing our planet to the brink. And no country, no single country is safe from fires, floods, storms, and heat waves. As always, the poorest and the most vulnerable countries pay the highest price, particularly small islands, developing states, and the least developed countries. But as the climate crisis accelerates, so too are the solution to help communities adapt. So my friends who are coming to this meeting, to this conference, let's make this meeting, let's join hands together as media, managers, bankers, to make our planet greener, cleaner, and safer for our next generation. I thank you.
Thank you very much for very impressive and very important presentation from the Radio Republic of Indonesia. Today now in this session of 45 minutes we listen to 5 panelists from the radio stations from the Lebanon and from the Indonesian, as well as the other colleagues from Voice of Vietnam, and then the Digital Radio Mondial, and from the International Telecommunication Union. So thank you very much for your impressive and interesting information, and I think all the audience will may enjoy and a very informative session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ganga, and thank you all the panelists. So we are really running out of time, so we would suggest we continue to, because we have a final session, which is presentation session. it's a not panel discussion. We will have 4 presentations to finalize day 2 and the summit. If you want to have a coffee or tea, you please grab your coffee and tea and come back, and we will continue. So I would like to invite, we will start our session, Innovative and People-Centered DRR Communication. It is our final session, and I would like to invite Ms. Panakporn Prasitpon, Digital Media Director, Thai PBS, Thailand.
Hello. Hello, thank you, Nagisa. Today, I'm honored to share with you about the topic. Slide, please. Okay, I'm Kanokpon Prasitpon from Thai PBS. Today, I'm honored to share with you all the title of topic, the Thai PBS Media Innovation Use Case in climate change, and climate and disaster or crisis in about the reporting. Before we begin, let us short brief about the Thai PBS. Now, so you can explore. We don't have much time, so you can explore my organization via search Google as well, because I have a limited of time. During the disaster situation, the demand for news and information increased rapidly, and events can change very quickly. The role of the media became extremely important. Media organization must respond swiftly and less professionally, providing accurate and reliable information so that the public can clearly understand the real situation. Okay, today I have 2 recent situations that occurred in Thailand this year to share as case examples. The first use case is the PM 2.5 pollution crisis. That is the major threat to Thailand's public health and economy. We focus on real-time information, dissemination, data analytics, and fostering public awareness and participation. Okay, this graph I show you the PM 2.5 trend by region in Thailand. It clearly indicated that Bangkok and the northern of Thailand have significantly higher pollution level compared to other parts of the country, especially during the peak crisis period, which is from December to March. And this graph, I will show you that the air quality index or AQI level that stay above 100 for more than 1 week from November to March this year. The AQI level have continued to rise each year. In the past 2 years, the regarding have exceeded the standard safety limits. Okay, so Thai PBS has created a portal website that compile content services and news related to the current air pollution situation, and has named this campaign we call Making a Way Through the Dutch, or in Thai Phà Dong Phun. That website will serve as the primary resources that can be launched immediately, acting as a central hub and that bring together information from all available sources. And this promoted under the link worldwideweb.thaipbs.or.th/pm25, including support for foreign language or English language, AI in text-to-speech and sign language feature as well. This is like a workflow air quality data that we collect and collaborate with the Pollution Control Department and Airport Thai application, which are trusted sources. Our system process convert this data and to different format tailored to each platform, variable and various objective to audience as shown the example. Okay, this is a TV screen. When we got the real-time data, during the crisis situation, TV or traditional media remain a trusted and effective media. We integrated app quality data via API into the broadcast system, presenting it clearly, easy to understand, visual updating continuous across all programs via television. We have developed a system to provide information, news, interact and engage with the audience via line. It's like the communication or chat system in Thailand. Its function has like a chatbot that can receive user command or any keyword that user type directly to us, respond to their question. Okay, this is a feature we align the service that lets to Q&A immediately. We are like each person. The people can check the PM 2.5 level in their area using geolocation automatically. I will back to the reason we focus developing online application, because today people in Thailand and around the world depend heavily on the social media. In Thailand, Line has become the most widely used communication platform according to the latest data this year. More people use the Line chat more than the Facebook in this year. This trend led us to focus on developing personalized news alert service delivered directly through Line. Okay, except the Line, we jumped across the platform. All Thai PBS digital screen will display air quality information everywhere. This picture is an example of the digital signage or LED screen in front of the Thai PBS building on the Vipavadi Rangsit Road. People on the way won't miss a daily information update. And beyond situation reporting, a lot of information, we're producing content in various formats. In other way, you use the digital platform for communication. Thai PBS also the dedicated unit that create indeed the public interest content. And we create the unit and brand the Active. The Active will produce the information like a data visualization, provide information in this situation as well. Okay, the second use case that I will show you today, disaster case I would like to share today. This earthquake that struck on March 28 this year that caused widespread panic, especially in Bangkok. On March 28, 2025 or this year, the power 7.7 magnitude earthquake in central from Myanmar caused strong shaking across Thailand. Bangkok was hit the hardest and high-rise under construction collapsed, resulting in death and injuries. The city was declared an emergency area. Okay, this picture on that day, my team, the live streaming team and TV production had to adapt yourself, adapt your team, even moving the production setup outdoor on that day as well. Although the incident occurred in the short period of time, a lot of information came very fast on that day. We created a web portal together, all of information, all of the related data, and provide various public services, including live program, educational content, and importantly, and fact-checking at the www.thaipbs.ra.th/earthquake. The earthquake, occurred only once, but it's created many questions, concerns, and difficulties of the people. Using the live chatbot became another effective way to let AI respond with accurate information and highlight the areas where AI can perform well. This is a screen of the AI chatbot that we create. A Q&A automatically respond with the people via chatbot like PM 2.5. Okay, this is a graph of the crisis situation for the earthquake. Fake news, disinformation, and rumors spread rapidly. Another way service where we use digital platform and to fact-checking under our initiative Thai PBS Verify. We also employ AI-based defect detection software to identify misleading content that can cause public confusion. I will show you today. This is an example for the verification on the earthquake situation. The sample is the fake news was claimed the Chuedagong Pagoda in Myanmar has collapsed. However, we use the Google Lens, Google Map, and Google Earth and mix with the verification process to find this is the fake news. And this is AI generated. Is this photo claimed to show the sky fall share over the 1,000 times, but we use the AI detector software and the process. In fact, it is the AI generated. Okay, I will show you. Publishing information online only may not be enough because during the crisis, traditional media, as I told you, is very important. Fact-checking, result, website information, and digital content must be integrated. This picture I will convergent with the TV broadcast that show the ticker and QR code via television to guide viewer to access immediately available direct to online. And the Thailand earthquake have don't forget the inclusive. During earthquake situation, special broadcast will including the sign language. We create the big sign stand for Big Sign Language Service and will display through online platform. And the target group is kids. We create the big sign and content for kids or like educational in the earthquake and provide to WIPA. WIPA is the OTT or video on demand platform of Thai PBS. Finally, I would like to conclude the 6 key takeaways that media organization must consider when the communication during the disaster and crisis. We provide real-time alert and verify information so public will know what is really happening. We help people stay safe by offer clear explanation of risk and debunking misinformation before it spread. Through multi-platform deliver, television, radio, online, and social media, whatever, we make sure that information reach everyone. And by working closely with the community, we ensure inclusive communication that supports resilience and leave no one behind. Thank you for your attention. ขอบคุณค่ะ
It's working. Thank you so much, Kanakor. Our next presenter for this session is Mr. Shimakawa Esuki. He is a senior correspondent from NHK Japan.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me to this important session today. I am a correspondent and responsible for disaster prevention and mitigation reporting at NHK. I will give you a brief introduction to NHK's operations and then introduce how we utilize real-time data to make people feel that it is their concern, and how to use data to provide human-centered broadcasting using the latest examples. Firstly, let me explain about NHK. Our corporation is public broadcaster, not national broadcaster nor commercial broadcaster. Broadcasting center in Tokyo and 53 broadcasting stations nationwide. This is our corporate plan. Mission of NHK as a public broadcaster. First, to protect lives and secure safety, and to deliver information far and wide, broadcast and digital too, including in times of disaster. So when considering disaster prevention and mitigation approaches, we believe it's important to make people think of it as their own concern. To achieve this, we use two main types of data. First, real-time data. Second, location data. First, we will show you a video footage that explains our efforts with real-time data.
Last June, severe torrential rain attacked the northern part of Kyushu.
Yes.
More than 40 people died or went missing, and more than 3,000 houses were destroyed. NHK started real-time risk analysis based on the latest weather information provided by the National Disaster Authorities through the online network. This is the flood risk map of the area. The levels of risk are indicated by using different colors. The rivers in purple face high risk of flooding. The darker the purple color, the higher the risk.
ここに佐田川という川があります。例えばこの川ですとすでに水位は急上昇しておりまして避難判断水位をもう超えています。まもなく氾濫危険水位に達しようとするところです。で住宅もありますのでこういったところを溢れますと一気に浸水が広がる恐れがありますので安全の確保が重要です。
Our reporter in charge of disasters analyzes current and potential risk of disaster areas, specifying individual names of towns and rivers. This is the landslide risk map, based on information from JMA. We are making extra efforts to call on people to evacuate as soon as possible by providing specific risk information in detail.
Yes, this footage was in 2017. As you know, Japan is prone to natural disasters, every natural disasters. So the Japan Meteorological Agency and other organizations have created a lot of information to address the issues. Therefore, it is important for us, media, to appropriately communicate impending crisis to local residents. That's why we are working to display data from JMA and other sources on a map in real time when a disaster to heavy rain or typhoon is imminent. For example, this shows risk of landslides by color. And this is the risk of lowland inundation from heavy rain. A unique feature of this system is that by combining it with map layers. So I'm sorry, this is very small, and you can see detailed place names appear when I click on them on our computer. You can see the city and town name. And this also shows the risk of flooding, such as river water levels. It's also possible to compare, you can see compare the water level with normal levels. Left side is normal levels. So we have been using this system since 2017 and are continuing to upgrade it. So next, I would like to introduce how we utilize location data. So this imagine Please imagine a major earthquake or severe rain disaster. When we conduct extensive coverage and produce numerous reports, the amount of information grows rapidly. At the same time, the public finds themselves surrounded by information jungle like that. It becomes difficult to understand where events are happening and what is occurring in their own communities. This was exactly the case during the massive earthquake and tsunamis struck Tohoku in 2011. And one cameraman recalled being asked at the flood site, "I'm worried about my friends. Which areas are underwater? Where are the evacuation centers?" So based on such voices, we developed the disaster information map. By attaching location data to reporters' articles, we can create visual map. Clicking on icon reveals details such as damage reports or temporary toilet locations, and even videos submitted by viewers, citizens. These icons each indicates the actual location of the landslides or some hazards. And also this map, hazard information on landslides or flooding can also be displayed. Since the map is published on the web, people can easily grasp that a disaster is approaching. Moreover, this tool is not only useful during emergencies, but also for relief efforts. For example, we can receive information from local authorities about shelters and water supply stations and display them on the map. As you can see, technology is evolving every day. Will this mean that in the near future no one will die in disasters? Unfortunately, that is not the reality. Major challenge is public awareness. If we consider the relationship between risk, hazard, vulnerability, and exposure under climate change, we see that as vulnerability decreases, minor hazards cause visual damage, making risks harder to perceive. So, recognize is needed. Here, the media plays a crucial role, uncovering hidden risks. For example, our data analysis revealed that many homes and elderly care facilities like that are located in areas predicted to be flooded during river overflows. So these small dots are the care facilities. Red circles means estimated over 3 meters high when major flood occurred. So investigative reports is very important. So finally, I want to revisit an important principle for the future. When I reported, I covered in Vanuatu hit major cyclone. People carried cyclone maps. These cyclone maps had letters and numbers along the axis, and cyclone positions was sent via SMS short message to smartphones. People use this information to locate themselves, understand warning zones, and evacuate to shelters when cyclone approaches by own decision. If communities have a clear yardstick like that for disaster information, even simple data enables them to recognize risks and take life-saving actions. Now our information is highly detailed, both spatially and geographically. The case we learned in Vanuatu shows us that we need to continue to consider not only how to improve the accuracy of the information itself, but also what technologies people will use and what approaches will allow us to create a yardstick. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shimakawa Isugi. Our next presenter for this session is Mr. Maysam Mashayeh. He is the head of communication with media unions from IRIB, Iran.
Okay, good afternoon to everybody. I hope you are keeping well. Thank you very much for the ABU, Sri Lanka, and UNESCO for holding this great event. The event is about the media and natural disaster. Media beyond the messenger, a powerful agent of change and building resilience for climate action and disaster prevention. First, I would like to introduce about the number of TV and radio channels in Iran. IRIB have 20 nationwide TV network, 34 provincial, and 11 world service. And IRIB radio networks, 18 nationwide, 43 provincial, and 30 world service. IRIB TV and radio organization with more than 150 TV and radio networks in all of the country, including 31 provincial and more than 1,200 cities, is the state broadcasting and trustable media dealing with natural disaster in Iran. One of the most important functions of the media is warning and preparing the people. There is a proverb that prevention is better than cure. Through satellite, through technology, we can prepare the people and we can warn the people. So this is the broadcasters in Iran that prepare and warn the people before any kind of disaster or heavy rain or flood. And we also we have a special TV education channel in IRIB. This is the training and education, not only educate general issues, but also about the natural disaster. And this is a suggestion for any kind of media that is establish a channel for the natural disaster to educate and teach people how to deal with. So media highlight earthquake preparedness manuals in the elementary school. In Iran there are some training and some educational classes for the students for elementary school and high school, and they have a good relationship with the schools, high school, and media can cover it, cover the the manual, the drills, the training, and teach to other people. So this is, as you see, the pictures is like a simulation, like what happens exactly. And it's about the adults and work office. Also, we can teach to the adults, to the people who are working in the office, and how can they shelter. This is a very emergency issues, the basic, all the people should know about the basic and training things that they can do during the earthquake or natural disaster or any place. The most important organizations of dealing with natural disaster in Iran and cooperate with IRIB are three organizations or groups. The first group is, Red Crescent Society, and the Crisis Management Headquarters, and People's Aid or NGOs. The Red Crescent Society as a most important and major organization in Iran that help to the people hit by earthquake or by flood. And during this, event, during these disasters, Red Crescent Society, help the people. And as I mentioned, there is an organization, Crisis Management Organization. It has a good, relationship and cooperation with TV and radio. And they have 13 working groups. And this is another suggestion that this country can have working group for communication, working group for health treatment, any, working group for insurance. So these kind of working group can have good relationship with the media. So these are in practice, and they can have with media to cooperate with each other to deal with a natural disaster. And also you can see the people's age. In the time of earthquake, flood, and anything, people can help each other themselves. Media should take action before, during, and after natural disaster. We can summarize all the things, this is my perspective or view, that we can summarize all the things about the natural disaster to 3 important things. Before, during, and after. What can we do before that? What can we do during the event? And what can we do after the earthquake or flood? So before natural disaster, we should aware, educate, training, drills, something like that. And disseminate the early warnings and highlight vulnerable areas. So these actions are before the natural disaster. During a disaster. So when a disaster happens, we should live update, emergency alerts, combat misinformation. One of the most important, disadvantage of the, the time during of the, disaster is that we have misinformation and disinformation. And during this time, the media should take action and combat with the disinformation and misinformation. Connect people with resources. We should find, we had a working group today, that we should find some places and then lead and guide people to the shelters. That is very important in the emergency time. Facilitate coordination, amplifying, and voices. So after a disaster, recovery and accountability. Report a relief efforts, share survivors' stories, and monitor long-term, encourage donations, and investigate causes and failures. These are the after, a disaster. And we should find the weak points. And also, we should help the people very urgent and very forcefully. So now there is a question that social media or traditional media, which one is much more important during a natural disaster? So the benefit of the social media is real time, very fast, speed and reach. The people can, use social media for informing people very fast. This is the benefit of the social media. And the disadvantage of the social media is, as I said, the misinformation. You cannot trust it. So traditional media verify structure and authority, credibility. That you can verify and credible the of the event or of the news. So limited interactivity. The disadvantage of the traditional media is limited interactivity or a slower update. So at the end, social media for rapid updates, traditional media for verified information and official guidance. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Maison. And our next presenter for this session is Mr. Jae-Kwan Lee, Executive Managing Director, News and Current Affairs, KBS Korea. Welcome.
Wow. Good afternoon, everyone, my colleagues. It's a great honor to be here to join the ABU Climate Action and Disaster Prevention Summit. My name is Jae-Kwan Lee, Executive Managing Director of News and Current Affairs at KBS. as you know, Korean broadcasting system. Today, I'll talk about KBS AI innovation in disaster broadcasting. I hope our experience is helpful to all ABU members. Okay. Here's a quick outline. First, a brief look at KBS AI innovation. Second, why AI matters in disaster broadcasting. Third, how KBS is using AI in real situations. And finally, a few examples from actual broadcasts. Okay, KBS AI innovation. Next page. KBS has designated 2025 this year as the first year at AI broadcast. And we are now integrating AI across our entire production workflow. Disaster broadcasting and services for vulnerable audiences are our top priorities. In line with our public service mission, to accelerate this effort, we've formed strategic partnerships with leading AI companies and established an advisory group dedicated to AI-driven innovation. So why is AI essential? Okay. Effective disaster broadcasting requires four things: accuracy, speed, and actionable information for people on the ground, and accessibility for all. AI helps us meet each of these demands. Let me now move on to how KBS is using AI in real situations. Okay. KBS applies AI to a wide range of disasters: earthquakes, tsunamis, wildfires, and floods. In these moments, we must instantly shift into disaster broadcast mode and deliver information that can reduce harm. Okay. Our first major challenge was earthquake system. Since 2021, KBS has developed and operated its own AI-based earthquake system. It receives real-time information from KMA, Korea Meteorological Administration, automatically generates images and news script, and converts the news script into audio using TTS, text to speech, and assembles everything into a video clip. The system needs about 10 seconds to prepare for on air, and about 3 minutes to render 4-minute clip. KBS currently operates or receives fees from about 17,000 on-site cameras installed by us or by external agencies. In the past, selecting the right footage from so many cameras under severe time pressure was extremely difficult. Today, we train AI models to identify the characteristics of each type of disaster. When an event occurs, the system automatically selects and edits the relevant on-site camera footage, allowing us to put it on air immediately. Actual broadcast examples, let me show you.
At 8:26 a.m. on June 12th, a magnitude 4.8 earthquake struck Buon County in North Jeolla Province. The epicenter was located about 4 kilometers south-southwest of Buon, with a focal depth of 8 kilometers. The Korea Meteorological Administration reported that this information is based on a manual update of the earlier earthquake.
In June 2024, last year, a magnitude 4.8 earthquake struck Korea, and tremors were felt nationwide. This clip was automatically, okay, please, okay. This clip was automatically produced by the KBS AI earthquake system. Okay. The next clip is a real breaking news segment. Play. Would you play this breaking news segment? Not working.
6월 12일 오전 8시 26분에 전북 부안군에서 규모 4.8의 지진이 발생했습니다. 지진의 진앙은 전북 부안군 남남서쪽 4km 지역이며 진앙의 상세 주소는 전북 부안군 행안면 진동리 진온의 깊이는 8km로 분석됐습니다. 기상청은 위의 정보는 2024년 6월 12일 8시 27분에 발표한
The AI-generated earthquake video aired first.
부안 규모 4.8 지진으로 인해 지역에 따라 최대 진도 5의 흔들림이 전달됐습니다. 지진 속도 후의 진동은 거의 모든 사람이 진동을 느끼고 벽과 창문 등이 깨지기도 하며 불안한 물체가 넘어지는 피해가 발생할 수 있습니다. 진도 5의 진동이 전달된 지역은 전북 부안, 전북 정읍, 전북 김제동.
Unfortunately, live footage is not playing now. Okay. In the end, it's playing. It will be playing. Okay. This brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. Last session, last speaker. Thank you.
I would like to invite all the... Wait, can you, Mr. Lee, can you please remain on the stage? I would like to invite other speakers for the photo, but after that we will have another one, very important presentation, a very short one, but after the photo, for our last session. Thank you so much. I would like now to invite my good friend, Pema Dorji. He's the head of corporate service department from BBS Bhutan to the stage, and he has a very important announcement to make.
Kuzu Sambola, Nala Matiyam, and a very good evening to everyone present here. It is truly an honor to stand before you today. To introduce myself, my name is Pema Dorji. I am from Bhutan, and I represent Bhutan Broadcasting Service Corporation Limited. In short, we call it BBS. On behalf of BBS and BBS management, BBS board of directors, and the people of Kingdom of Bhutan, I would like to extend warmest greetings to all the distinguished delegates, esteemed guests, and the members of Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union. Today, I am deeply delighted to officially announce and welcome you all to the 10th ABU Media Summit on Climate Actions and Disaster Preventions, which will be held in beautiful Paro district in Bhutan, the land of happiness. The 10th ABU Media Summit on Climate Actions and Disaster Prevention will be held tentatively from 16 to 18 June 2026. And the summit will be hosted by BBS Bhutan. The theme for the 10th ABU Media Summit on Climate Actions and Disaster Prevention 2026, From Awareness to Action, Media for Climate Resilience and a Safer Future, which highlights our collective responsibility and a critical role of media in shaping a more resilient and a safer Asia-Pacific region and beyond. We have also prepared a short video that offers the glimpse into Bhutan's unique beauty, stunning landscape, distinct culture and traditions, and Bhutan's commitment towards environmental preservation. And for your information, Bhutan is only carbon negative country in the world, which makes Bhutan the ideal location for this important dialogue and conversation on climate actions and disaster prevention for media. Before I play the video, I would like to express our deepest appreciations to Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union and the host organization, Sri Lankan Rupavahini, sorry for the pronunciation, Rupavahini Corporation, the SLRC, for their remarkable efforts in organizing this 9th ABU Media Summit on Climate Actions and Disaster Prevention here in beautiful Colombo, Sri Lanka. Detailed information on the summit and the registration process, accommodation options will be shared soon through ABU channels in the coming months. So please stay connected. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity, and we look forward to welcome you to Bhutan, the land of happiness, in the month of June 2026. Before I conclude my presentation, I would like to request the technical to play a short video that we have prepared. Please.
In a beautiful kingdom of Himalaya, where clouds drift around timeless peaks and rivers whisper through sacred valleys, Bhutan stands in graceful harmony with nature as the only carbon-negative country in the world. Rooted in the spirit of gross national happiness, we cherish our future, preserving more than 70% of our homeland beneath the eternal embrace of forests. Even in this emerald sanctuary, the pulse of change is evident. Glaciers shed silent tears, rivers rise in restless song, and farmers gaze toward uncertain skies. The moment to act is now. Bhutan's footprint may be tiny and small, but our promise is immense. With heart and courage, we honor the earth for people, for nature, and for the world we share.
A new Guinness World Record for the most trees planted in 1 hour.
Trashi Dele, Nandri, and thank you for your time and attention. We welcome you once again to the land of happiness, Bhutan, in the month of June 2026. Thank you.
Thank you so much. With this beautiful note, we are approaching the conclusion of the 9th official part of the 9th ABU Media Summit on Climate Action and Disaster Prevention. From the ocean to mountains, we have a beautiful planet that we all have to save. We are living in such a beautiful place that is our responsibility to take care of. So during these 2 days, under the theme Building Resilience Through Media for Cleaner, Greener and Safer Tomorrow, we brought together broadcasters, scientists, policymakers, civil society and youth leaders to explore the media's role in facing two of the most pressing challenges of our time: climate change and disaster risk reduction. And our summit, the 9th summit, has reaffirmed that the media is not just a messenger. It's a partner in resilience. Let's carry these commitments forward beyond this summit into every newsroom, training sessions, and community we serve. Thank you so much for being with us for these 2 days. And a special thank, of course, to our host, SLRC, for the wonderful job that they have done together with us for making this event successful, I believe. But of course, you will judge us later. And another one note, that we have circulated call for action that we have drafted together with our host SLRC. We have circulated it through email. We have already received several expressions of support. So please, when you check your email, if you have any suggestions, comments, or maybe reservations, please let us know. If there is no negative comments further, we will consider this call for action adopted and will circulate among the delegates, our partners, and public. Thank you so much. With this note, we conclude our 2 days of the summit. But this is not the final. We haven't finished yet because in 2 hours at 7 p.m. we have our gala for Together for Planet, People and Peace Media Awards that celebrates again promoting the peace, sustainable living and justice for all. So you are all invited at 7 p.m. same place here. Let's celebrate the achievement of our broadcasters. Thank you so much. Yes, please, before you leave, Male has something to announce.
Thank you, and it's actually a joint collaboration between UNESCO and ABU. I think we had mentioned to some of you that we are...
Nila Banku Sahakaru.
The BOC multi-currency travel card. One card. Endless adventures.
සාතර අනුග්‍රහය
වාසනාව ගෙන දෙමින් රට කොට නැගීමට දායක වූයේ ජාතික ලොතරැයි මණ්ඩලය.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් ලයිෆ් මෙඩිචැම්ප් එක්ක නම් කැමති විදිහට ජීවිතේ විඳින්න පුළුවන්.
නව නේචර් සීක්‍රට්ස් ෆේෂල් වොෂ් ස්වාභාවික සුන්දරත්වයෙන් ඉදිරියට. දැන් තරුණ ඔබට NSB ෆස්ට් හෝම් ඕන වෙතින් 6.75ක අඩුම පොලියකින් අරගෙන නිවාසනායක්. ජීවිතේම එළිය කරන සංවර්ධන ලොතරැය. එදා බොගවන්තලාව කාට දැන් බොගවන්තලාව එක්ස්ට්‍රා ස්ට්‍රෝං නමින් රන් රවුමේ රස පාට.
ඔබත් අදම විෂන් කෙයා එන්න හරිදේ හරිතැනින් අරගන්න.
මම ෆෝරෙවර් ෆේස් වොෂ් පෙලක් නිර්මාණය කළේ ඒ නිසයි. මම චාන්දිනී බණ්ඩාර.
බ්ලූ ෆීල් ශ්‍රී ලාංකේය තීවුරුමේ අභිමානය.
හැමදාම මහ පොළොවේ කොට්ටුණු මගේ තාත්තට මාව ඉංජිනේරුවෙක් කරන්න තරම් වත්කමක් තිබුණේ නැහැ. ඒත් මම ඉංජිනේරුවෙක් වෙනවා දකින්න තාත්තා ආස කළා. තාත්තගේ ආසාව බොඳ වෙලා ගියේ නැත්තේ මහ පොළොව ශිෂ්‍යත්වය අපේ පිටට ආපු නිසායි. මේ වගේ ආස අල්ලන ගොඩනැගිලි හදන්න මම දැන් මගේ දැනුම දෙනවා. හැබැයි මහ පොළොව නොතිබුණා නම් මම අද කොහෙද? මහ පොළොව ශිෂ්‍යත්ව පිරිනැමීමට අපට ශක්තිය ලැබුණේ ඔබ වියදම් කරන පුංචි රුපියල් 40න් බව ඔබ දන්නවද? ජීවිතේම එළිය කරන සංවර්ධන ලොතරැය. අපූර්ව දවසකට හොඳ